More than 53,000 unionized Canada Post workers will begin voting on what the Crown Corporation says is its final contract offer. That vote is happening on Monday. So the deal includes a wage hike of more than 13% over 4 years, but would also see part-time jobs added for weekend parcel delivery service. That is something the Canadian Union of Postal Workers has pushed back against. Well, Canada Post says the changes would be necessary for its struggling business. The union has urged members to reject this deal. The vote, which will be run by the Canada Industrial Relations Board, wraps up on the 1st of August. So for more on the vote and recent negotiations, let's bring in Mark Lubinski, the president of Toronto Local CUPW. Good morning, Mark. So the big vote, couple of days away now. The union urging members to say no to this offer from the Crown Corporation. Tell us why.
Good morning, Courtney. Thank you for having me here with you today. The way the offer was done, being forced upon the membership, going through the Minister of Jobs, the way it was done, it was not negotiated. It was just something Canada has rewritten the collective agreement. They put in what they wanted there, and it's a dangerous precedent that would follow if we voted yes for it. And what's in the offer is not good for the workers.
It seems as though talks have been going on for many, many months. I think close to 19 months now, though. Do you feel that you guys are at an impasse and that there might be this requirement to at least vote and see how members feel?
Well, we're at the vote right now, so there's no choice but to vote. We're urging our members to vote no because of their postal worker job will never be the same. Canada Post has their agenda. Their agenda is not a postal worker agenda. Their agenda is, we're not even sure what it is, because they seem to be in a spiral in losing money, and they're not offering any real solutions for the workers or even for Canada Post itself as a business.
Part of the contract that you guys are looking at right now, it would include work on the weekends. That is something I know the union has raised concern over. But the Crown Corporation saying they need to do this to continue to run the business. They say they've already taken a bit of a hit as a result of the ongoing labor dispute that we're covering very closely. What is the concern when it comes to the weekend work?
Well, we are totally in favor of weekend work. We understand the postal system has to work during the weekend with the delivery of parcels, but it's the type of work Canada Post wants to create. They want to create a part-time flex worker. We want full-time jobs, and it's possible through the way have rotation during the week. It just, Canada Post wants to create a lot of part-time flex jobs on the weekend and even during the week. So we want good jobs for Canadians. We want good, stable jobs that people are able to support their families and retire with dignity. This
has obviously been a very long, several months now with the ongoing negotiations. How have members been feeling? What have you heard from members over this process?
Well, members are tired, they're frustrated, but this is a process Canada Post wanted to go through. Canada Post is forcing changes which are not necessary. They could have, we could do weekend delivery in a different mechanism if Canada Post just went back to the table. So, the workers are frustrated. We went through a 5-week strike where the government toyed with us and we were mandated back to work. There's all sorts of things happening. Myself, even going to the work floor in my own plant in South Central, I'm being barred and having difficulty meeting the members there. So members are frustrated, but they understand we need to stick together. The postal workers are the only organization that represents them. We're here for their needs. We're here to have decent jobs for postal workers and future Canadians, and to have a viable public postal system that delivers across Canada.
I know union members haven't been doing any overtime for quite some time now, and we heard from Canada Post on that move saying, that was impacting overall mail delivery, the volume of mail that they're seeing. I'm wondering, are you concerned at all about the impact of this strike, what it could have on the future of the Crown Corporation?
Well, Canada Post has put itself in this position. They haven't bargained in good faith for over 2 years. Even themselves throwing this contract at the membership, bypassing the union, is just an example of how Canada Post operates. We want a viable postal system for all Canadians that will deliver the services necessary for them. So this impact they've caused, that their CEO, Doug Enger, is on board of directors of Purelator. It's a private company, even though Canada Post owns 23% of it. 7% is private investors that are making huge profits right now with all the mail being diverted to Purelator. So we, as members, we're frustrated, but we know the battle continues, and we need to stick together as workers, as the middle class, because Canada Post cannot fix its problems on the backs of the workers.
My last question, Mark, if members do in fact vote to reject this latest offer, what happens next? Will you guys stay at the table?
100%. We're already preparing to be on the table. It's exactly what we want, a negotiated contract where both parties sit down and write a collective agreement that is workable for the workers and for Canada Post. Okay. We want a successful post office for all Canadians, but we want decent jobs for Canadians. If you can't have one at Canada Post, where is there someone going to have a decent job? So we want livable jobs, not these part-time, precarious, flex part jobs that Canada Post wants to create. It's not the type of economy we should have in Canada. We should have decent jobs with decent benefits and be able to retire with dignity. That's all we're asking for.
Mark Lubinski is the president of the Toronto Local CUPW, joining us live this morning. Mark, thank you. We'll be in touch, and I'm sure we'll be speaking on Monday.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Thank you. You too.